brought some interesting things. Well, yesterday brought some interesting things, and it has led me to doing this live instead of my normal recorded video and edited and blah, blah, blah. Before I get into today's letting go, I wanted to point out a question somebody had, and so I wanted to reference it. The question was, once we let go of something, do we need to put anything back in? And is that something we always have to do? Because sometimes I teach that way and sometimes I don't. The answer is yes, an emphatic yes. Nature abhors a vacuum. And so whenever we take something away, we need to put something positive in. And in fact, you can do it in reverse. You can put enough positive in that it flushes the negative out, and that's going to be later on, and I'll get into that deeper later on in the month. But for today, I just wanted to say, just to have in your mind in the steps, once that's part of the analyzation or transition phase, once you figure out what you want, what you don't, then when you move into the adjustment or the transformation, that's where you apply what you do want. So, for instance, if you watched my video from yesterday, which didn't get posted till this morning because of this sweet finger decided to be slow and not get out of the way while I was chopping cilantro, and I took a few layers off, and I only blacked out, didn't pass out, yay for my body, but it did make it very difficult to type and keep my head straight because it burned and throbbed so bad. Anyway, what's the point? Oh, okay. So yesterday's technique, I did the turning the triggers into truth. And so just for an example, what I wanted to let go of were the feelings, the uncomfortable feelings for this woman who had wronged me. And I wanted to let go because I won't get you, just go watch the video to find out what it was that happened and what I did. But so I didn't like how I felt towards her. What I wanted to let go of were the feelings and the emotions that led me to think poorly of her. And when I went through the process and saw what it was underneath the pain, like what the real pain factor was, I was able to replace it with truth. So you see in there, I let go of the lie and I replace it with the truth. And that's what we want in everything. If you release, if you are an anxious person and you hold anxiety in your stomach, that's just your normal homeostasis, or the way it's been. That's not your normal homeostasis. But if that's what you live with, when you remove it, your stomach's like, what now? And so you give your body permission to accept something new and better. What you want to is peace and relaxation, or maybe if that feeling keeps coming up, you replace it with excitement. Because did you know that excitement and anxiety feel the same in your body? Like, think about it for a minute. Think how you feel when you're ready to take that first kiss or jump on the roller coasters, if you like roller coasters, versus when you're nervous to stand up and speak. Could it be that you're not anxious about standing up and speaking? Maybe you're excited about standing up and speaking. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But the bottom line is that you want to add in something that is true and beneficial. True being a key word. So you don't want to try to replace it with another lie, even if it's a pretty lie. Yeah, okay, enough said. I hope you get that. If not, tell me in the comments and I'll go into more details. It can be. Now, when we're thinking of I'm looking at my cluttered desk right now. If I were to put everything away and my desk is now clear and I let go of the clutter, what I can put in its place is space. That is something. Space, holding space is something, because there's never nothing inside the space. So know that if you don't intentionally put something there, it will attract whatever it is, your body, your mind, your home, your world, your environment. If you don't intentionally replace what you've let go with something positive that's more aligned with your truth, you're just going to suck in something that's similar to what you had before. All right, so enough of that. Today, the letting go of expectation. And the reason I'm doing that is because of this finger that I chopped in half. Yeah, I didn't chop it in half. Okay, I just severed like 12 layers off it. The bottom line is it was painful. And in that moment, I'm trying to make dinner and I'm trying to push everything into my day. And it was packed. I went over with an appointment, which I'm always happy to do because I want my clients to have closure and peace and all the good feels. So we went long. It's all right. It happens. But then I was juggling to get my day back in place. And I had the expectation that I gave to everybody that watches these, that's in doing the 31 days with me, of having a video. Now, I had a little bit of a fall apart because I wasn't quite done with the editing. It just wasn't coming together right, and I needed to get it posted. And then my finger hurt so bad, and my dear smart husband asked me the question, well, is it something that you have to do? And I was like, no, I don't have to do it. I want to do it because there are people expecting it, and I have my own expectations. And so there was this little dance inside my head, which then I had the conversation of perfectionism. Okay, can we give grace? So what I just talked about a couple days ago, giving grace. And I needed to give that to myself and understand that it's going to happen in the morning. Okay, so the question is, when you have something that you want to have, you have an expectation in your mind and it's not met, how do you react? So really, maybe it's not letting go of expectations. It's letting go that your expectations have to be met in the timetable or in the way that you expected. So can we let go of our expectations of our expectations? How fun is that to wrap your head around? There's one statement that I learned from Three Key Elements, if you're familiar with them. Kirk Duncan says, expectation without agreement equals manipulation. Expectation without agreement equals manipulation. And that means if you have expectations on other people, usually your family members or friends, or employees. Actually, this can go anywhere in any relationship. If you have expectations, but you haven't voiced an agreement, if you haven't both parties accepted the expectation, if there's no agreement made, then it's manipulation. Think about how we do that with our children. We give them expectations. We tell them what to do, and we expect them to do it. And we haven't even taken the time to have the conversation about why this is expected of them. And do they feel like they can meet that challenge? Is that like out of alignment with what they think is the way they should react? And it doesn't even matter if you're still going to make them do it or not. What matters is that they feel at peace with complying to your expectations. If they don't, then it's manipulation. And we can do that to ourselves. Yesterday, that's what I fell into. I was manipulating myself because I had this expectation of perfection, and I had unforeseen things come into my life that kept me from meeting my obligation, my own expectation. And so I chose to feel bad about myself. Was it helpful? Nope, not at all. And so just wanted to open your mind to this idea of expectations that we put on ourselves and other people. And I have 3 questions for you to help make it a little more clear when you're wondering if this expectation is doable. Because we want to have expectations. Expectations are really good. It gives us something to hope for, something to plan, something to check off. But sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. So to know if you have realistic and helpful expectations, we're going to ask these 3 questions. Number 1, was I clear? Am I clear with my expectation? And if there's another party involved, were they clear about the expectation? If you have an expectation of all of the laundry going into the dirty laundry hamper rather than the floor, good for you. If you haven't voiced or been clear and gotten agreement from your family members that all the dirty laundry goes in the hamper, and you haven't been clear about it, well, then you're moving into the manipulation. You're setting yourself up for frustration. The next one is the expectation helpful? Is the expectation going to move you forward into the life, into the person you want to be? Is it going to have benefit? And that's does it benefit? Who all does it benefit? Does it benefit just you, other members, and how? So just get really clear about your expectations and if you want to keep them. And then simply, is it necessary? Is this expectation necessary? Because some are. Like, I have an expectation that I'm going to have food and water every day. I have an expectation that I will have all of the oxygen that I need to breathe. And those are necessary for my life. And so, of course, I'm going to keep those expectations, and I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure those expectations are met. Was it necessary that I post my video last night? Nope. And was it a lot easier for my brain after I released that expectation and decided the 3 people that are going to watch it last night can watch it in the morning and apologize to the couple of groups that I knew were expecting it? Yeah, it was fine, and the rest of my evening went forward in peace. So there's something for you to look at. Go back to your trigger list, your pet peeve list, and just highlight which ones of my triggers are there simply because I have manipulated myself or other people, and then can you just let it go? So there's your thoughts for the day. I'd love to know what you think. What kind of expectations have you put on yourself that you can now release? What kind of expectations have you put on your partner or your children or your employees that you can now shift and release because you see they're just not helpful or not necessary? And what expectations do you now vow to get an agreement for? Because if you have that agreement, then you have a partnership rather than a dictatorship. All right, have fun with that. I love to see how many comments you can bring me so we can have a nice chat about it. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.